part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
This is Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action. This is Mark Wade, writer of Superman Worldwide, and you're listening to the Krypton Report.
On today's Krypton Report Spotlight, we're going to be looking at one of the best Superman, who has had a crucial impact, I think, on just the way everything has been done, as well as just had a rocky go as the character. And someone who has deserved much better. And that's right, we're going to be talking about Brandon Routh. Brandon, of course, most notable for playing Superman in Superman Returns, where he was tasked with playing basically Christopher Reeve. And, you know, part of his look of being similar to Christopher Reeve is what got him the gig. And I'm not going to dive into the whole history of that film because, you know, there was different actors being considered and directors swapping places. And, you know, at one point it was basically like Brett Ratner and Bryan Singer just traded projects. Ratner taking X-Men 3 and Singer taking Superman. And Brandon was pulled from Bryan Singer because, funny story is, Henry Cavill actually tested for the role, and I think he tested under Ratner, if I'm correct. But I could be wrong. I don't remember. I just know he did test for the role. Anyways, Brandon then would later come back and get to play an older version of his Superman that was more of Brandon getting to play the character himself, not so much needing to be Chris. And that, of course, was in the Crisis on Infinite Earth event. I'm currently looking at the poster of him in his costume in front of me as I record this. I just want to say, if you are interested in hearing Brandon talk himself about his experiences, check out Michael Rosenbaum's podcast. He's had Brandon on there a couple of times, and it's very interesting just to get to hear the story from the man himself. But without further ado, let's dive into some Brandon Routh. Brandon James Routh was born October 9th, 1979. He is an American actor. He played Superman Returns. In 2011, he played the title character of the film Dylan Dog, Dead of Night. Great movie, hard to find. It's based on like an Italian comic. Great cast, fun. And I think he has a better look physique-wise in Dylan Dog than he did as Superman. He also had a recurring role in the NBC series Chuck. It's Daniel Shaw, which was pretty cool because he was with Zach Levi. Routh had a supporting role in the film Zack and Miri, Make-Up Porno, and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. He was great in Scott Pilgrim. In 2014, he was cast in a recurring role as Ray Palmer / The Atom on Arrow. He would later go on to play 2 other series in the universe. He would guest on The Flash, and then he would be on Legends of Tomorrow as Ray Palmer. And then, of course, he left Legends of Tomorrow in 2020, and that's really when I stopped watching. Not to go on a tangent, but that show has really become the craziest, weirdest thing there is that makes no sense, and it's the most un-DC show. He went to the University of Iowa. He is married to Courtney Ford, who was Damien Dark's daughter on Legends, which isn't that a gas? I think it's awesome. And, of course, their characters found love on the shows, and I think it's dope. He is 6'2.5", which is very important when you talk Superman height. You know, you got to be up there. So Brandon and I can high five each other because I'm between 6'2" and 6'3" ever since the back injury thing. So I'm there with you, buddy. Routh is the third of 4 children. Was born in Des Moines, Iowa, to Catherine Levon, a teacher, and Roland Ray Routh, a carpenter. He was raised in nearby Norwalk. Routh was raised in a Methodist family and has English, Scottish, German, and Dutch ancestry. He grew up about 100 miles south of Woolstock, the birthplace of George Reeves, the second actor to play Superman, but the first one to be on television. During his childhood, Routh thought a full-time acting career was unrealistic, citing his small-town background. In his spare time, he played the trumpet and the piano. Routh attended Norwalk High School, where he played sports and portrayed music and theater. He attended this school at the same time as Jason Momoa, who I have met, who would also later become an actor in DC as Aquaman. Then they played soccer together. He has described himself as a mama's boy and not the most popular kid. During his school years, Routh also had noted that during his younger years, he was fond of the Superman films and comic books. Routh attended the University of Iowa for a year, aspiring to be a writer. During this time, he modeled and acted in order to earn his tuition expense. Which is so interesting for me to think like modeling and acting is like something you have to kind of break into, that you could actually do, that you were good enough to do that as a side job to pay for things. Routh said that he often was told that he bore a physical resemblance to Christopher Reeve, who had previously played Superman in a film series. His former manager signed him on because of the resemblance, telling him that he thought Routh would be cast as Superman if there was ever another film in the series. That's crazy. Just throwing that out there. In 1999, Routh left university and moved to Manhattan, then Los Angeles, where he pursued a full-time acting career. First appearance as an extra in Christina Aguilera's 99 music video for What a Girl Wants, which I'm tempted to go actually watch that now to see if I can find him. He had his first acting role that same year in an episode of the short-lived ABC television series Odd Man Out, which I did watch. In 2000, he had a 4-episode role on season 3 of MTV's nighttime soap opera Undressed. Routh subsequently appeared on the WB's Gilmore Girls in a February 2001 episode, Concert Interrupted, playing a Bengals concert attendee, and earned steady work on the soap opera One Life to Live, playing Seth Anderson from May 23rd, 2001 until April 17th, 2002. Prior to Roth's casting as Superman, the film Superman Returns, Warner Bros. Had spent over a decade developing the franchise. And we'll skip all this because we've talked about it in many other podcasts. Routh was 24 and he had previously auditioned for McG, like I said, and was spotted by Singer after he viewed Routh's videotape audition. Singer, who has since stated that Routh was the embodiment of our collective memory of Superman. I can't argue with that. Was impressed by Routh's resemblance to the comic book icon and found the actor's humble Midwestern roots perfect for the role, as well as his combination of vulnerability and confidence, which Singer said reminded him of Chris. Routh's casting was announced in October of 2004, making him an instant celebrity. Before filming began, Routh bulked up for the role, gaining 22 pounds to reach a height of 218 pounds. Filming for Superman Returns began in February of 2005. Routh's film critic Robert Ebert felt that Routh lacked charisma as Superman, and I suppose as Clark Kent, he isn't supposed to have any. And I think part of it is maybe Routh's coming up as a character, but I think part of it is going to fall to this director of Singer, basically making him Chris and not letting Routh be the character. At the 2006 Spike TV Awards, Routh won the award of Best Superhero as Superman, beating out Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. So suck it, Wolverine. Suck it, Hugh Jackman. In August of 2008, Warner Bros. Officially announced they intended to reboot the Superman franchise. Routh was still set to reprise the role, according to DC Comics president. In 2009, however, Routh's contract to play Superman in another film expired, and he said at the time he would like to return if given the chance. However, British actor Henry Cavill went on to be Superman in the reboot, which is so interesting because Routh has been on record saying, he was Superman until he wasn't. And that's kind of like where Henry Cavill is. He is Superman until he isn't. And, just a quick note, it's so interesting that Superman Returns and Man of Steel exist in this very interesting bond of one being the antithesis of the other as far as filming goes. After the release of Superman Returns, Roth signed on to play CIA agent John Clark in Without Remorse under the director John Singleton. Routh would be the third actor to portray the character after William Dafoe and Liev Schreiber. This film was intended for 2007-2008. However, Paramount Pictures put the film into turnaround. Routh's future participation in the project is unknown. That sucks. John Singleton was a great director. Rest in peace. Routh appeared in the independent drama Fling formerly titled Lie to Me, in 2008. And that's where he met Courtney Ford. He did the film Life is Hot and Crackdown in 2009. Ralph was signed to star in The Informers in 2009, a film based on Bret Easton Ellis' novel with Kim Basinger, Amber Heard, and Billy Bob Thornton, but his scenes ended up scrapped with the decision to excise the quote-unquote vampire subplot from the film entirely. I did see that movie a long time ago. I don't remember enough about it to really say anything. At Comic-Con in 2008, it was revealed that Ralph would have a cameo in Kevin Smith's comedy Zack and Miri Make a Porno. He instead appeared as a minor character, Bobby Long, and would serve as a judge on Platinum Studios' 2008 Comic Book Challenge. In addition, he has a cameo where he plays himself in the Bollywood film, I can't pronounce that, in 2009. January 2009, Ralph was officially cast to play Todd Ingram in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which was directed by Edgar Wright, based on the Scott Pilgrim series, which was awesome. His character is arrogant, narcissistic bass player who derives psychic powers from his vegan lifestyle, and the third of the 7 evil exes the title character must fight. 1, vegan lifestyle does not give you psychic powers. I've tried. I'm a bass player, and I play more like Scott than I do like good old Brandon there. But hey, Ralph plays Daniel Shaw in Season 3 of the spy series Chuck in a recurring role. He portrayed the supernatural detective Dylan Dog in the 2011 film Dylan Dog, Dead of Night. Check it out. On February 22nd, 2022, it was announced that he had been cast as David Cohen in Max Murdoch's new CBS half-hour multi-camera comedy pilot Parents. He played Michael Urie's character's steady parent along with David Kermoltz and his table of 3 co-stars Sophia Bush. The series was canceled after only 6 episodes had aired. Can't catch a break. In 2013, he was in the video game Call of Duty Ghosts. And then in July of 2014, he signed on to be Ray Palmer, which originally was supposed to have been Ted Kord. But then there was going to be the Ted Kord / Booster Gold Blue Beetle series that never happened, and it was all twisted and legal, and he became Ray Palmer. That same year, he starred in the Hallmark Channel's Christmas-themed movie, The 9 Lives of Christmas, which I watched just because he was in it. In January of 2015, he was in very early talks to be Ray Palmer in the spinoff, which would be Legends of Tomorrow. And, of course, he would then go on to become the more Kingdom Come-styled Superman in the 2019-2020 crossover. Wow, that's a lot. That is a lot. Ralph is a distant relative of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. That's pretty awesome. Ralph's sister Sarah has a musical track entitled You Are Never Gone on the Sound of Superman, companion soundtrack to Superman Returns. Ralph likes to play World of Warcraft. Interesting. He has a son, Leo James, with his wife, Courtney Ford. He has a pretty long resume. And more recently, let's see, he has done Slugfest. It's a Roku channel documentary series. He played Joe Simon. That was pretty cool. The 9 Kittens of Christmas, which is the sequel. The Rookie, which I'm behind on in season 3. He has a recurring role, which I need to catch up on. Man, I'm behind on a lot of stuff. So let's see if we have any more fun facts about Mr. Ralph here. I was bummed that I didn't get to meet him at Metropolis, and he doesn't really put up like a lot of his social of when he's out and about, because he is one of the Superman actors I haven't met, but I would really, really like to meet. And I think he'd be a very nice guy. That's all I've ever heard about him, and so I'd like to meet him. Went as Clark Kent and Superman for Halloween party in 2003 and won a costume contest. dressed up as Batman for Halloween in 2004. That's pretty funny. His brother is a police officer in Des Moines. I think this is interesting. Unlike fellow Superman actors Christopher Reeve and Tom Welling, he is a huge Superman fan. As a kid, he collected the comics, owned the films, and even wore Superman pajamas. Blessing. See, I think that's why we love him so much. Is because he is a fan. Frequently, he says the only good thing that came out of his several years of struggling to find success in Hollywood was meeting his longtime girlfriend, Courtney Ford, in a coffee shop after another failed audition. They became engaged and married. I mean, you got to look on the bright side. Auditioned for the role of Clark Kent on Smallville years before landing Superman Returns. All right. So that's a quick, just a quick learn on him. I think just for an interesting kind of, he was paid $1 million for Superman Returns. And I think, if I remember right, I want to look this up real quick while we're here. Just kind of in comparison, okay? Dun, dun, dun. Let's see if it's listed on here. It's not on here. I wanted to see, because I think Henry Cavill was paid like $10 million to be Man of Steel. Interesting, right? And just looking at like quick things here, just comparing yeah, it's pretty crazy, honestly. But anyways, Brandon Routh deserved better. I'm glad he got to kind of put a button in on his Superman, but he still deserved better. We thank you, Brandon, for your time as the character and the love that you have shared with us for the character, because we love you as Superman. And remember,
Look up in the sky.
We just want to say, if you've enjoyed this podcast, please check out other podcasts on the Press Play Podcast Network. But also, if you love Superman and DC Comics, please listen to the following: The Last Sons of Krypton, Superman the Animated Podcast, Holy Batcast, The Geek of Steel, Digging for Kryptonite, The Aspiring Kryptonian, The All-Star Superfan Podcast, and Superboy the Legacy Podcast. Enjoy.